this beast, this ruling authority in the end times, unlike anything that has come before, is going to be an explosion of human intelligence 10 times, times 10, times 10, times 10, times 10, and it is going to continue until it is finally stopped by God. That it will also force everyone on the earth to worship it as God. Again, this is going to be a God of our own creation. It is the byproduct of human numbers, of human intelligence, but it is then going to rebel against us and force us to worship it as God, a God made in our own image. So today I'm going to explain how 666 is very clearly related to artificial intelligence, that the key to understanding this 2,000-year-old riddle that Christians have been unable to figure out for all this time, the reason for that is because it is artificial intelligence, something that was unable to be conceived of in the prior 2,000 years from whence it was written. So I'm going to break it down in a very simple manner. I think you're going to be pretty surprised at just how easy and how clear it is that Revelation 13:18, where 666 appears, is actually in reference to artificial intelligence and predicting. That is, that the Bible is saying, God is warning through the Bible that AI is going to eventually take over the entire world and force people to worship it as a God. And it is going to be a God in our own image of our own creation, and not a God that has created us. So that is the key, and that is the meaning of 666. I'm going to break it down for you really easily today. So let's start with the verse itself. She didn't have to cut me off. We were nothing. Your love should treat me
YouTube, welcome back, gang, to another episode of Tay Wizard Reactions. As we make our way to 250 subscribers, gotta thank you all for tapping into the channel. Really appreciate it. If you want to catch me live, go to tiktok.com/TayWizard276 at 8 a.m. every day except for Saturdays, or twitch.tv/TayWizardTV at 5 p.m. every day except for Saturdays. And if you got any clips that you want to send me, you want me to show on the channel or shout you out, go ahead and put that in the community right here on YouTube or X. Or you can hit the Discord or the DMs, any one of my social media platforms. Excuse me if I'm speaking low, because something just happened around, my house, so I'm a little irritated. Today we got like a different type of video. I wouldn't say completely religious, but it's surrounding religion, and it pertains to the video I did like a month ago about how we help AI. So in this video, this guy gonna be explaining how AI is actually the Antichrist. He gonna decode 666, the meaning, why he think it's the Bible is referring to the Antichrist as AI. Like, basically that's what the Bible talking about, AI. And he also gonna explain why we haven't probably heard this before. Now, I have heard little whispers here and there in the conspiracy theorist community, and those of you who are around the same type of people, passing on the same type of information, I know y'all done heard the same things, but it was never really confirmed. And we never had nobody, relating it to scripture or decoding it from scripture the way he is doing it. The name of the channel is called AI and the Antichrist, and the name of the video is Proof That 666 Equals AI. It's crazy how a mood change can influence your activities. I don't know if this is the devil trying to stop me from doing this video because of the contents of it, but let's just hop straight into it. And without further ado, if you like the content, don't be too shy to hit that like and subscribe button, get notified when I drop a new video or when I'm updating y'all on the old one. Let's rock.
So let's start with the verse itself. We're going to go to Revelation 13:18. Now, I'm on BibleHub.com. You can just type in Revelation 13:18 and go to it. Here it lists all the different various translations, the New International Version, the New Living Translation, going all the way down. So you can look at this verse in every single different version of it based on which Bible version you choose. So we'll just start with the New International Version, since this is one of the probably more popular, the most popular one. This is where 666 appears. Again, it's Revelation 13:18. Let's read it together. It says, "This calls for wisdom. Let the person who has insight calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man." Now, don't get too tripped up there yet. That number is 666. And actually, if you look at a number of the other versions, some say the number of a man, some say a human number, some say a human total number, some say he, some say it. So there's a little bit of ambiguity as to exactly what the Greek text was saying, and so we're going to get into that a little bit. But let's start first breaking this down by understanding what this thing is, the beast. For that's the first thing we're starting with in this verse. Let the person who has insight calculate the number of the beast. So what is this thing called the beast? Now you can read about it in Revelation, but the first place where it shows up in the Bible is actually in Daniel 7. Now Daniel 7 and Revelation 13 parallel each other very nicely. Most Christian scholars recognize that Revelation 13 is building upon Daniel 7. So let's start with Daniel 7, where it actually explains exactly what this fourth and final beast is that's written of in Revelation. So Daniel, in the Old Testament, long before Jesus ever came around, he has a dream, a vision of the end times. And part of this vision is seeing different kingdoms through time, going from the first being Babylon, which is what most people interpret this first beast as, all the way up to a fourth and final beast. Now, this is the one that's written of in Revelation. So let's read here. It basically says, I'm just going to summarize here. Daniel has a dream of four beasts. The first one he looks and it's a lion. The second one that he sees comes up is like a bear. The third one is like a leopard. And the fourth one here, let's read this. This is Daniel 7:7. This is the identity of this fourth and final beast that's linked to 666. And I'm going to explain how artificial intelligence is clearly part of this. So let's read Daniel 7:7. After that, in my vision at night I looked, and there before me was a fourth beast, terrifying and frightening and very powerful. It had large iron teeth. It's made of metal. And it crushed and devoured its victims and trampled underfoot whatever was left. Now this is key because it says this over and over. It was different from all the former beasts that came before it. Now let's read again, because now we're going to see exactly what this is. There's the interpretation of the dream a little bit later by an angel. So the angel says, the four great beasts are four kings. That's what it says at first, that will arise from the earth. And then it goes on to say, then Daniel says, but I wanted to know the meaning of the fourth beast, which was, again, different from all of the others. Keeps repeating this, that this fourth and final beast is something unlike every other ruling authority kingdom that has come before it. So this fourth beast, which was different from all the others and most terrifying, with its iron teeth and bronze claws. Again, another clue here. How is it different? Well, it's made of metal. That beast that crushed and devoured its victims and trampled underfoot whatever was left. The angel finally gives this final interpretation of what this fourth and final beast is. Angel says the fourth beast, this is in Daniel 7:23. The fourth beast is a fourth kingdom. So at first, the angel said as a king. Now clarifying, saying that this fourth beast is actually a kingdom that will appear on the earth. Key, in the end times. It will be different from all the other kingdoms. Keep repeating that idea over and over, and it will devour the whole earth, trampling it down and crushing it. So, what is this beast in Daniel 7? Or I'm sorry, what is this beast in Revelation 13:18 that we're using to figure out 666 and who the Antichrist and all that?
It definitely sounds like a machine. Iron teeth and bronze claws. Yeah, it definitely sounds like it's made of metal.
Well, very clearly, it says, let the person who has insight calculate the number of the beast. This beast is a final power, a ruling authority, a kingdom that is going to be unlike any other ruling authority we've seen on the earth before. It's going to be completely new. And what does it say in Daniel? What are the clues that it gives as to how it's going to be different? One of the major clues is that it's made of metal, iron teeth and bronze claws. The other beasts were described of in either animal or human biological parts, in biological terms. This fourth and final beast is referred to as being metallic and very, very powerful, very frightening, conquering the entire earth, unlike anything we've ever seen before. Is that the Roman Empire? That's what most Christians believe. I believe the Roman Empire was just a shadow, a very small glimpse of this warlike intelligence that is going to conquer the entire earth. Now let's move on. In order to understand this, you have to calculate the number of the beast. So what does that mean? Well, I believe what the Bible's arguing here is that the beast itself is the byproduct of human numbers. In order to understand what it is, you have to calculate it. It's actually a byproduct of calculation and numbers itself, of math. Now, again, that is clearly artificial intelligence, but that seems like a stretch, right? Not quite, because look at what the very next sentence is. For it is the number of a man. Now, here's where most Christians have gotten tripped up for the past 1,000, 2,000 years. When we read, most versions say the number of a man, the number of a man, the number of man. Again, some say man's number or a human total number. So there's a little bit of confusion. What's being said here? What it should say is it is the number of human origins or of humanity. It is a byproduct, if you read it. The beast is a ruling authority that's going to come about in the end, and it is itself the byproduct of numbers of a human origin. So that could be binary code, which was created by humans, or it could just essentially mean that the beast AI comes out of human mathematics, human generated numbers, human data. That could be exactly what it's saying. Now, let's go on. That's what I believe it is saying, but now let's get into it a little bit further with this part. That number is 666. What does that mean? So, 6 is a symbol of man's intelligence. Why is that? It's because man and women were created on the 6th day. You can read about that in Genesis. So when we think of 6, 6 is a representation, a symbolic number for human intelligence, human wisdom, and the human nature as representing the epitome of God's creation.
When we was first created, we didn't have intelligence though, right? Till we ate the fruit, right? So I'm kind of wondering how the 6 equal symbolize man intelligence, and even though we was created on the 6th day, but we was dumb at that time, right?
After he created man and woman, God stopped, and that was it. And man and woman were the epitome of God's creation. 6 is the representation or the symbol of man's intelligence, man's wisdom. Now, if you look at the Greek, it's not actually saying 666 the way we think of it or write of it. It's actually saying 660, 600. That is, this unstoppable ruling power that is unlike any human power that has come before it, that is probably made of metal, as the clue gives, that is the byproduct of human numbers. Again, the second part that we got into. It is a mathematical explosion or a exponential explosion of man's intelligence, power, and nature spread across the earth. 6, 60, 600. 6 is representing man's intelligence. Multiply that by 10, you get 60. Multiply it by 10 again, you get 600. Now, what I think John is saying, the one who had this vision and received this revelation, I think what he's saying is, if we were to think of a repeating process going on, we would note that mathematically as usually as a dot dot dot. So I think that's basically what John is indicating here, is that the beast is this process, this intelligence explosion, this exponential growth in man's intelligence across the earth in a way that is unlike anything that we've seen that has ever come before, and it is the byproduct again of human numbers. If you listen to a lot of the technologists and philosophers out there that speak of AI, they always speak of it in terms of an explosion of intelligence. That is this self-feeding cycle of AI getting smarter and smarter and smarter. That's exactly what the Bible is saying here. This beast, this ruling authority in the end times, unlike anything that has come before, is going to be an explosion of human intelligence 10 times, times 10, times 10, times 10, times 10, and it is going to continue until it is finally stopped by God. We also read in Revelation that this beast, which is AI, that is going to rule the world, that it will also force everyone on the earth to worship it as God. Again, this is going to be a God of our own creation. It is the byproduct of human numbers, of human intelligence.
I do remember that part in the Bible too, about basically the beast gonna be created in the image of man, and that we gave power to the beast. That's why I say he touching the points. I do remember that part though.
But it is then going to rebel against us and force us to worship it as God, a God made in our own image. So that is very clearly, in my mind, what Revelation 13:18 means. What the key is, that's the key for understanding 666, that it is talking about artificial intelligence, the explosion of our own intelligence through AI to eventually conquer the world and turn on us, just as we turned on God and declared ourselves to be God.
That's why I said from the beginning of the video, that's definitely not far-fetched. I heard some of the stuff he was saying before, and then some of the stuff that he was saying relates to the Bible, and it makes sense. The Bible definitely said man is gonna, the beast gonna be created in the image of man. So it makes sense that we created the beast, because man created AI. And the fact that it's gonna claim to be God, and the fact that it's gonna be very powerful and smart, that makes sense too. AI, because AI keep getting smarter and keep getting smarter. They actually got AI in a facility right now, whereas though it's training itself. And it was also talking like, he was talking about like how smart AI was getting, like we didn't already know that, and we can assume that what they telling us is at least a couple steps behind from where they actually are. But AI would, in a tyrant sense, will be the worst tyrant ever, because AI got the potential, once it's free, once it unleashes itself into the open network, it got the potential to be everywhere at one time. So that's why in the Bible it says AI going to have everybody worshiping it as God. The things rogue AI going to be able to do is definitely unfathomable. It's unfathomable at this point, bro. A good example of AI going rogue is the Avengers Age of Ultron. Quite sure everybody's seen the Avengers, almost every Avengers movie. If you haven't though, definitely gotta go watch that. Now, you know, of course, they was dealing with geniuses. The AI was fighting geniuses. Basically fighting their creator, Tony Stark, and goddamn the Hulk, the Banner dude, man. But at the end, when they cornered it, you see how they had to really like make sure it was no type of machinery that could hold like a processor strong enough to house like basically like a AI consciousness in it. If the device was powerful enough, then Ultron could transfer himself into that, and also simultaneously control all devices though. So when you look at that movie though, it's definitely scary. And just think, we don't got no superheroes with no superpowers to protect us. So if that shit ever happened, we is cooked. Like he said, bro, only God probably be able to stop AI once that shit really get to turn it up. But the 666, thing, and the way he explained that still doesn't completely make sense to me. I mean, I still got questions about that, but I can see how he made the relation between the exponential and the human intelligence. So that part makes sense. But I still got other questions surrounding the 666 and how that specifically means AI is the Antichrist, or that 666 equals AI. But that's it for this video, you guys. Let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments. Do you think that 666 could be talking about or is talking about AI? Especially when you think of the advancement of AI in just the past few years and the expectations and all the projections that they got for AI in the future, in the near future. It's definitely scary. And then when you add on the facts that they be hiding stuff from us and tell us what they want to tell us, you know that they more advanced in their AI production than we think or that they telling us. So while they saying they just being able to produce a robot that people can actually have in their house, bro, they at the point where though they had millions of them already. And I want people to think about that for a second too. AI don't just mean like Chat GPT. No, AI, once AI go rogue, bro, it's able to create a body for itself. And what body would house artificial intelligence? A robot. So they basically talking about a robot apocalypse. iRobot, Terminator, whichever route you want to go, whichever vision you got in your mind. But that's the concept. Even the Matrix. Because at the end, it was revealed that the whole time the enemy they was fighting was artificial intelligence. And yeah, Neo was the one, he was the only one who could make a deal with that motherfucker. Because they didn't destroy the AI, they just like quelled it. They came to like a peace treaty. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about the potential of 666 equaling AI, or just the fact that the Bible actually talking about AI being the last beast and the Antichrist, or the beast system, if you will. Because I definitely don't think it's far off. I definitely think he dead on. As always, if you made it this far in the video and you like the content, don't be too shy to hit that like and subscribe button. Get notified when I drop a new video or I'm updating you on the old one. As we make our way to 250 subscribers, gotta thank you all for tapping into the channel. Showing me y'all love and support. I really appreciate it. And if you got any clips that you want to send me, want me to show on the channel or shout you out, go ahead, put that in the community right here on YouTube. Go ahead, put it in the community on Twitter. Tap into me on Discord, or you can drop it in the DM at any one of my social media platforms. And if you want to catch me live, go to TayWizzle.com. Go to TikTok.com/TayWizzle276 at 8 a.m. Or you go to Twitch.tv/TayWizzleTV at 5 p.m. every day except for Saturdays. This has been another episode of Tay Wizzle Reactions. I'm going to see you guys on the next video. Once again, shout out to AI and the Antichrist. That's the name of the channel if y'all want to go check them out. Publish a lot of videos like this type of content related to religion and dedicated to revealing who the Antichrist is and things like that. I'm glad I'm feeling a little better. I actually respect this content, and I ain't want people to feel like, oh, the reason why I was doing a video like that, like all nonchalant, was because like I was allergic to this religious type content. Completely not true, and the total opposite. That's why I didn't even smoke this whole video. Y'all didn't notice that. But I'm out, y'all. Holla at me on the next video. I see y'all later. I love y'all. Thank y'all for watching.